All right, guys. So I woke up this morning to Candace Owens trending on Twitter, right? And Candace Owens is somewhat of a controversial figure to people who don't necessarily understand her. Not me. I actually love Candace Owens. I think Candace Owens is great. I think she's very smart. I think she's articulate. I think that she is a woman that is about her business. And it's funny because she actually does exemplify what the left say they want out of women, right? Smart women who are powerful, who have a lot to say, and that stand up for themselves, right? And she's black, but they hate her for whatever reason, right? They hate her because she doesn't have the same views as them, okay? So I don't know, maybe being a black conservative is a liberal's worst nightmare, okay? Maybe I should start saying that again, and maybe I should bring that back. Who knows? Maybe I should throw that on a shirt. Who knows? And in this situation right here, right, the discrimination against her, right, that I'm going to talk about is absolutely disgusting, but it's something I'm not surprised about coming from the left, even if it is so hypocritical against everything they claim they stand for. But before I get into this disgusting story, right, about what happened to Candace Owens, make sure you guys check out my merch store if you haven't already at gforemanbcp.com. Right now I'm selling my Work Hard, Work Smart, Take Risks shirts, which is my form of a anti-victimhood message. Essentially, I feel like those words embody how to be successful in a capitalistic society and what people need to do to overcome any obstacles that they have in life. Now, I will be adding more merch that is more politically oriented, but I'm not that creative of a person. When I come up with some good ideas and designs, I will be adding them to the shop in the future. So just make sure you guys check it out periodically. If you like something, make sure you pick it up. You get 10% off using coupon code GForemanBCP. You can also get 10% off this handmade wooden American flag star using coupon code GForemanBCP at Bridge the Gap Shop, which the link to that store is in the description as well. This is also listed on the website. So if you want to check any of that stuff out, make sure you go to gforemanbcp.com. All right, guys. So Candace Owens went on Instagram last night to expose the disgusting discrimination that she had received from a COVID-19 testing facility in Colorado. And I want you guys to take a listen at her story, and then I'm going to give you guys my opinion afterwards. Take a look.
I'm a personal freedom person. So if you think that you examine your life and you think that the vaccines are good for you, then you should get them. And I have tons of friends that have gotten the vaccine, and I have tons of friends who haven't gotten the vaccine, and I have tons of family members who have gotten the vaccine and tons of family members who haven't, and it hasn't stopped us in any way from being friends or family. So that's always from my perspective. And so as a result of me not getting the vaccine, and I know fellow non-COVID-19 vaccine havers can relate to the fact that they have created a bunch of barriers and hoops to jump through in terms of us having to constantly get tested for COVID to do anything. And I've just complied with it all. Like, I believe in individual freedom, but I also believe in small business freedom. So if there's a small business who is that is really concerned about COVID-19, and they say, well, you know what, in order for you to attend our event, we want you to show proof that you don't have COVID because we don't want you to spread it. I'm happy to comply with that. I'm not happy to comply anywhere that requires that you show vaccination proof. I'm against showing papers to go in and out. And so as a result, I have pledged off going to New York or Los Angeles while they have these policies in place, because I think they're totalitarian, and I don't think that your personal health is a, something that a private business owner should be asking you about. Anyways, so as a result, I probably have gotten literally something like 50 plus COVID tests since the beginning of this pandemic. And I recently, by the way, went to London. I came back from London last week. That's why I haven't really been on social media. I've been all in different sorts of time zones. And while I was in London, I literally had to get 3 COVID tests. So that's how, I'm just to paint a picture to you of how willing I am to get a COVID test to prove that I don't have COVID, despite the fact that I'm not willing to get the vaccine so I can have a card that allows me to move. And I've never been in trouble for complying. If they tell you to wear a mask on a plane, I can follow rules, or I can decide not to use that business. That's kind of my stance on it. So as a result, like I said, I probably now, because of how much I travel, have to get COVID tested maybe once every 2 weeks. And I typically go through my practitioner before I leave, and I get the results within 48 hours and everything's fine. And no matter where I am, I have to figure out where I can locally get it if I'm not near my practitioner. So I am right now in Aspen, Colorado. Here we are. We're getting to the guts of this, okay? I'm in Aspen, Colorado, and my assistant, I said to her, I just found out, I'm like, actually, because of timing, I should get a COVID test here for somewhere else that I have to be at that wants proof that I don't have COVID. And she's like, fine, total no problem. And she books a COVID test for me. Normal, not a big deal. So I'm assuming that we're gonna have to go there, or the person's gonna come here and swab me, not very comfortable, but whatever. And my assistant comes to me and her face is white, and she's just like, you are not going to believe this. We just received an email from the COVID facility that they are declining to give you a test because of who you are. I was like, this can't be real. There's no way this is real. I have to look at the email and see if this is in writing, because this can't actually be real, because that doesn't make sense. We're in a public health crisis. If I knew someone didn't get the vaccine and I worked for a COVID testing facility, I would obviously be happy that a person who had the vaccine was doing the right thing and complying by getting a test to make sure they didn't have COVID to spread it. Wouldn't it be common sense? Actually, wouldn't it also be common sense that if you work or operate a COVID testing facility, that the majority of people that you see are unvaccinated? That's the reason they're probably getting tested, because they're not requiring people that are vaccinated to be tested every 5 minutes. So this is weird. And so I take a look at the email, and it is literally the biggest heap of virtue signaling crap that I've ever seen in my life. First and foremost, I want to point out to the fact that this test was booked under my marriage name. So the test was booked under Candace Farmer. No way that raised red flags. This means that this facility actually actively Googled who was booking tests to see who they were, right? And then they determined that, oh my God, Candace Farmer is actually Candace Owens. I'm not going to administer this test, and I'm going to write this virtue signal email. And I know a lot of people are saying, I don't know if this is legal. I have no idea. I don't know. I can't imagine it is. In a public health crisis, I can't imagine it's legal, but there's also private business rights. I have no idea. So this is the email which came from, it's called it's an Aspen COVID test. And the person that operates the facility is a woman named Susanna. And Susanna wrote my team an email, and this is what she said. I can't show you the email because I can't show her email address, obviously, because that would be considered doxing. So Susanna writes, I've just learned of this testing request, and as the owner of this business, am going to refuse this booking and deny service. We cannot support anyone who has proactively worked to make this pandemic worse by spreading misinformation, politicizing, and actively dissuading people from receiving life-saving vaccinations. This is my favorite part of the email. She writes, the only other local testing option is the free kiosk by City Hall. They mail their tests to Texas and have inconsistent result times. Do not take appointments, so it's walk-in only midday weekdays in their back alley. But basically, she's only saying that she's not going to give me a test, but she's like, and haha, good luck ever getting one, because I'm the only person. I have a monopoly in Aspen, and you can't even get one. Thanks, Susanna. The arrogance of writing that afterwards, being good luck getting one because I have a monopoly here in the mountains of Aspen, is so typical leftist. And then, of course, as a leftist activist and someone who clearly does not care about public health, because if she cared about people in Aspen, she'd be I hate Candace Owens, but thank God she's going to make sure she doesn't have COVID because she's here, and I want to make sure she doesn't have COVID and she's not walking around with it. Then she ends it by saying, of course, pat on her own back, my team and myself have worked overtime to exhaustion, unpaid and underpaid this past year, spending our own capital to ensure that our community remains protected. It would be unfair to them and to the sacrifice that we have all made this year to serve you. Nobody stopped her in this ironic statement, obviously.
All right, guys. So as you can see there, that's just absolutely disgusting and unacceptable. Candace actually posted a receipt in regards to the original email in her reply email, right? So she's not making it up, right? This is a true story, okay? Unbelievable, but true, right? And just flat out hypocritical, okay? Because let's rewind here, right? Candace Owens and her views regarding this pandemic, the virus, the vaccines. Again, by the way, I'm not making any claims about any of that stuff in this video. Consult your medical professional if you have any questions about the vaccine, the virus, or the pandemic. But Candace Owens' views on that, right, is basically a very, very reasonable and fair view, right? She has a view that's pro-freedom. And not only does she have a view that's pro-freedom, She's not even really trying to necessarily go against the grain, okay? Because she's basically saying, listen, you know, I'm unvaccinated, but I will follow all the rules, right? I will wear a mask. I will make sure if I'm around people that are really old, that feel like they're at risk, that are terrified at COVID, I'm going to take the necessary precautions to make sure that person feels comfortable, right? But I've made a personal health choice for me and my family in regards to the vaccine or whatever that, you know, hey, that's just our choice, right? But at the same time, it's not like, you know, she's not trying to follow any of the rules, or that she's not aware that, hey, you know what? I should be taking safety precautions for other people, right? She has a very, very, very reasonable stance, okay, in regards to this, right? But see, when it comes to the left, that's not enough. When it comes to the left, you have to be 100% on board with what they want and their authoritarianism, or they're going to flat out discriminate against you. In this case, you had Susanna, who works at this clinic or whatever, right? Who literally went and looked up Candace, right? Candace used her marital name, okay? Candace Farm, I believe it is. So this woman went and looked her up and was like, oh no, that's Candace Owens, right? I mean, guys, I'm sitting there thinking, I'm like, what would prompt her to even go and look this person up? Are you looking up all your patients, right? Or else, this person is a activist, right? You're a liberal leftist activist who is so familiar with Candace Owens that she would recognize Candace Owens' marriage name that she doesn't even go by. So the hate must be real for Candace from this person, okay? And this discrimination against Candace Owens doesn't even make sense. Because again, a part of her trying to be responsible, right? Trying to be what the left says that people should be when it comes to this virus, she constantly gets tested, which is what she was talking about. And she was getting tested in Colorado. That's what she was at. Okay? Why? Because she knows she's going to be around people and she wants to make sure that she doesn't have the virus. Okay? So that she can safely be around people, so that she can protect other people. That's what she's trying to do, even if it inconveniences her, even if her own personal beliefs, she might not necessarily agree with doing all this stuff or having to do all this stuff. She's still doing it because she cares, right? But yet, that's not enough for the left. This clinic feels like, oh, no, because we don't agree with you politically, we're not going to test you, right? And we're going to make you jump through more hoops to get a test. We're going to make you jump through more hoops to protect other people from this virus. Right? These are the same people that claim they care so much. What sense does it make to allow Candace Owens to walk around not knowing whether or not she has the virus, simply to say, well, you own Candace Owens. Oh, we didn't do business with her. It doesn't make sense. This is a person that's doing exactly what you say you want. Okay, yes, she doesn't agree with all the other stuff when it comes to mandates, right? But she's trying to meet you halfway on some stuff. Again, not good enough. Not good enough. And guys, this is what pisses me off about the left. And this is why so many people I feel like are so done with the left, right? You have people like Glenn Greenwald, right? People like Dave Rubin, whom are traditionally leftists, but they've been like, you know what? We don't really F with the left like that anymore because they've gone full-blown authoritarianism. They have, right? They want a communist Chinese-style dictatorship that openly discriminates against conservatives and people who don't want to agree with their mandates. That's what they want, even if it comes at the cost of getting other people sick, because this is exactly what this clinic chose to do when they chose to discriminate against Candace Owens. Is the left going to come out here and defend Candace Owens, a black woman who they say they care about so much? Oh, the people that's disproportionately affected, right? Are they going to defend a black woman who's out here trying to do the things that you say people should be doing for the sake of public health? Are you going to defend her and say, no, this clinic was wrong for discriminating against a black woman? I guarantee you they're not. They're not. There should be an uproar about this. There really should. On the left and the right. People on the left and the right should be able to come together on this issue and say, no, this is wrong. Under no circumstances should somebody be denied a COVID-19 test because of their political beliefs, period. That should never, ever, 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 ever happen. And if it happens, no matter which side it happens to, that clinic, the person that discriminated, has to be condemned, right? I don't even know if this is legal, like Candace was saying. It honestly shouldn't be legal, okay? But you're not going to hear outrage from the left because they're full of shit. They're full of shit. They don't care. They're perfectly cool with taking away freedoms of those people whom they do not agree with politically. Even if it's discrimination against a person of color, right? People that they claim they care about so much. Guys, the level of hypocrisy with this story it's just amazing. It blows my mind. This person at this clinic really thought that she picked up a W, right? She thought that she owned Candace, right? When she really was working against everything that they say that they're about. You were anti-public health. Okay? What she did was despicable. And, you know, apparently the lady that made this decision, Susanna, is the owner of the business. Now, a lot of people say, well, this is a private clinic. They have the right to do what they want to do. Look, I'm for businesses having the freedom to do what they want to do. But at the same time, they will be called out, right? If you do something like this where you discriminate against somebody, right, because of their political beliefs, expect there to be consequences, right? People are going to call it out, and it could potentially affect your business in the long term, okay? Where there's a lot of people who are probably going to think twice before going to get a COVID test there because they might get denied their test because of their political beliefs. I just find it amazing how this owner thought it was a good idea to write an email to her denying her service, and then saying, well, it's because of your political beliefs. But at the same time, claiming to care about public health and keeping people safe, right? Why would you do that? So stupid. So stupid. So let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.